Hi, my name is Mark from jazzguitarlessons.net. So today I'd like to discuss blues comping for jazz guitar. So the objective of this video is to show you how to learn, memorize, and hear chord members for chord progressions on blues, on jazzy blues. It is not to learn chord shapes and to just throw them when you're playing blues. It's really understand the progression and hopefully just retain everything by ear and by memory. Around the same time I published this video on YouTube, there will be a page on jazzguitarlessons.net, which is jazzguitarlessons.net/jazzguitarblues with a dash in between each word, .html. So before we get started, I'd like you to go on that page and find the third progression, which is called the most common jazz guitar blues. We're going to use the chord symbols only, the letter, and the seventh. Never mind the flat 9 or whatever extensions that you have there, just the chord progression. For this whole video, we're going to do it in B flat. So on the page you have 3 PDFs with all the chord symbols written out. Take the third one, print it out or put it on your screen, pause this video now. Now hopefully if you read a little the article, you know where the chords come from. So I'm going to play a little of the first step. What we're going to do is play a B-flat blues, 12 bar, in this way. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that was a 12 bar blues in B-flat. The way I played it, I played the root on the 2 bottom strings, the 6th and the 5th string, and I played only the 3rd and 7th chord member. You'll find plenty of information about this on the website also. So you have to be able to understand and know what are the chord members. If we're on a B-flat chord, you need to find the 3rd. By finding the 3rd, you start on B-flat, skip a note, skip C, go to D. So D is your 3rd, B-flat and D. Then you have to find your 7th. Your 7th is a flat 7 because it's a dominant chord, so it's A flat and D. So play like this. That's your first chord. I won't go into much detail here because you'll find a PDF, but I call this the gear 1A. That's your first gear for learning to play jazz guitar blues. Then using the same progression, what I want you to do and what I'll demonstrate right now is to learn to play 3rd and 7ths without roots. So those are called guide tones. The guide tones are very useful because they resolve into each other. If you read a little of the Jazz Guitar Lessons page, the no-nonsense guide to jazz harmony, you can find a lot of information about this. So here's how it sounds when I play just 3rd and 7th, which I called my gear 1B. Just same 3rd and 7ths without the roots. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so by now, by the help of the PDF and with this demonstration, you should be able to play root 3rd and 7th, 4/6 through the B-flat blues, and just 3rd and 7th through the B-flat blues. Here's the second gear for playing jazz guitar chords. You're adding one note from what we just saw, root 3rd and 7th, you add the note on the 2nd string. In that case, I'll name the notes B-flat, A-flat, D, and G. This is a B-flat 13. So you're going to alternate between 13 chords and 9 chords. So here's the full B-flat blues. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that that was the second gear, number A, for learning to play jazz blues. I call it my gear because we just shifted, we have one more note. So the gear 2B for playing the same thing is a let go of the root once again. So you have B flat, A flat, D, G. Let go of the root. No more root. So by learning just the third and the sevenths, hopefully on strings 4 and 3, you can learn to add just one note and learn your way around your fretboard like this. Here's a demonstration of gear 2B. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So finally, the third gear for learning to play jazz blues on the guitar is to add the little string. So we already had our third and seventh guide tones, and we added the second string. And then hopefully you're starting to understand the chord progressions and the extensions, and you can read in the PDF also. Well, you have this. You add the little string. So I play the C note there. I got a B flat 13. That's the guide tone. The 13 is here. The 9th is here. So we have a B flat 13 9 dominant chord with no root, but it's still there in your ear. Instead of adding C, we could also have added B flat. So from now on, because you understand the chord progression, it is your task to find what notes could fit on the whole string. So you can create a meaningful melody on the blues by simply using your two highest strings to the greater extent. Let's say you started like this with just the 13. For 2 beats and then 2 beats with the C. 1, 2, 3, 4. On to the next chord. I added the little string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So it's just a demonstration. But in fact, you can learn to play like this fairly easily. What you need is the first gear. Your first gear without the root, just the third and sevenths. And then you learn to ornament around it. A few points to keep in mind. All of this stuff, especially gears, the first two gears, can be played in two different locations for the same key. So if you're in B flat, you can play here, B flat, the E flat here, back to B flat, or you could play it here. It's the same notes, but they're inverted. So keep that in mind, because you can work your extensions out in a different way when you get to third gear. The other thing you have to keep in mind is, imagine you're working yourself through gear 1, 2, and 3. At gear 1, like this, let go of the root, gear 2, gear 3. This actual voicing, which is A flat, B, G, C, can also be played on the other set of strings. And that could be the topic for an entire different video. But you can still learn to move the voices yourself and find possibilities. I find it easier to work with the little strings, but that's just me. Another point to keep in mind, when you're letting go of the root, you're freeing yourself for playing all this beautiful stuff. But when you actually play in a band or for a concert, or if you rehearse or you're recording yourself practicing, don't fall in the trap of being just on one gear. You know, you could start to play blues and play with the roots for a while. And then when you're trying to incorporate some melody, go on the little strings. And add some bass notes. It's always a matter of contrast. You can never go just one way and it always works. So hopefully you can have most of the stuff down by the end of this video. You can pause it, you can learn the stuff, you can rewind it. Remember, this is just B flat. You have to learn blues in the key of F also, blues in the key of C, blues in the key of A flat, blues in all keys hopefully. But for now, do B flat, F, and C. C is cool because it's the people's key. It's easy to remember because C major scale is so common. When you're really comfortable with all that stuff, you can start to add extensions. And of course, what we saw in this video is adding 13s, adding flat 9s, 9s or flat 9s. So let's say you add a B flat 13 here. This is your 9. Your flat 9 is just here. Your sharp 9 is here. So you let your ears be the judge. Never go on and just add extensions for fun with your fingers. See where it leads. If you play this, take some time to consider all this stuff. So okay, let's say you've really learned the blues in the key of C, in the key of F, in the key of B flat, and can do all this stuff. So keep browsing through the PDF on the website for all the progressions. I think I listed 5 or 6 of them. Start using more chords. Let's say you have the B flat blues, had more. You can have more secondary dominants. You can have. You can learn to play the blues in F, which is the Parker blues. Which is blues for Alice, like this. All those other blues, see if you can find similarities, and of course you can always build on the stuff you already know about blues by learning progressions that are slightly more complicated. So the final words. You hear me play all this stuff, I demonstrate B flat blues, and you might wonder why it doesn't sound the same at home with your guitar than it does here. Well, one of the key elements of jazz is rhythms. It's probably the biggest overlooked aspect of learning how to play jazz and teaching it, of course. If you have a certain progression, you have 12 bars, it has to be 12 bars. It has to be groovy. If you have to use a backing track, it's okay with me. Make sure you're always in the pocket. If you create meaningful grooves or meaningful rhythms, then all the stuff's going to start to sound good. As funny as it may sound, it doesn't sound good if you play it in bad rhythms. It will only sound good if you play in good rhythms. For instance, that's pretty boring. Sounds like if I'm looking for where I should put my finger next. Take the same voicing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you for watching this lesson on blues. So please visit the page on jazzguitarlessons.net, and I'll see you soon.